Okay, guys, we're gonna be back into his story. He's kind of popular, so let's watch this one.
I was watching a zoo snake show when the cobra lunged and bit the volunteer's hand, and his smile dropped into a scream. I immediately stood up because I'm a zoologist and knew he had 30 minutes before the venom stopped his heart. A woman recording screamed, "That's my husband! Someone help him!" with her 2 kids crying at her legs. The zoo handler panicked and started tying a belt above the bite to save him, but I shoved through the crowd. "That belt will kill him faster! Call an ambulance and don't move him!" Every face turned to me like I was insane, but I knew if they didn't listen to me soon, they'd kill him. If you move him, the venom reaches his heart faster. He needs to stay still until the medics arrive. But the handler shoved me back, flashing his badge. "Shut up! I'm trained for this! Step away now!" The crowd sided with him, and I watched him yank the belt tighter as the husband's fingers turned purple, every second pumping venom straight to his heart. So I dropped to my knees beside the volunteer and begged him to lie still, but he was staring at his kids. "I need to get to my kids." He started crawling toward them, but if he kept moving, he would die in front of them. So I held him down, and the wife screamed, "He's trying to kill my husband." Then the handler ripped me off of him, and the husband dragged himself across the concrete toward his kids. But halfway there, his arms buckled and his eyelids started drooping shut, and my blood ran cold because I knew he only had seconds left. So I swung and knocked the handler flat, then threw myself over the husband and pinned him down so he'd stop moving. The wife clawed at my back, screaming for someone to pull me off, but I kept my weight on him. His breaths were getting shorter under me, and I didn't know if he'd make it. Then tires screeched, and 2 paramedics shoved through the crowd. One took one look at me and yelled, "Yes, keep him still." The whole crowd went quiet as they looked at the handler with disgust. The paramedics pushed the anti-venom in, but he shook his head. "He's going to lose the arm because of the belt, but you saved his life by not letting them move him." The wife sank down beside me. "I'm so sorry," as his kids ran into his arms. He almost died trying to reach them. Now he finally could. I was watching a zoo snake show when the cobra lunged and I peeled a lottery ticket off the pavement under my tire and read, "Win $47. I couldn't believe my luck because I had only pulled into that gas station to steal napkins from the hot dog counter because I was too broke to afford toilet paper. Score! My celebration startled the man at the air pump so badly he dropped the hose. His eyes moved from the ticket to me. "Is that yours?" I folded it once. "It is now." I started walking inside, already picturing a 12-pack of 2-ply, but the man sprinted past me, shoved the door open and yelled, "He stole my winning ticket!" The cashier looked up as I came in behind him with the ticket still in my hand. "It was under my tire." The man pointed at the black mark across one corner. "Because you parked on it." I slapped the ticket on the counter and kept my palm over it. The cashier looked from him to me. "You're fighting over parking lot trash." I looked at the toilet paper shelf behind him. "It's not trash. It's my ticket to 2-ply comfort." Then I pushed it toward the scanner. The man grabbed the far edge before it reached the machine, and I pulled back because trash or not, that ticket was still the only thing between me and another handful of stolen napkins. The cashier lifted both hands. "If you rip the barcode, I can't scan it." The man yanked harder, and for one stupid second, I yanked back harder too. The ticket split down the middle, sending us both stumbling backward. He crashed into the candy rack while I knocked over a beef jerky display, and the cashier snatched my half from the floor before I could even stand up. Other piece.
Yo, what does the comments have to say? Everyone gets it a second chance, but you do. Oh dang, that's actually true.
The man slid his half onto the counter, and we both leaned in while
Oh, what's his face?
the cashier lined up the torn barcode under the scanner. The machine beeped once. "Not a winner" flashed on the screen. The cashier turned the ticket around and tapped the tiny words under the prize box. "It says win up to $47. Did either of you read that part?" The man backed away without looking at me. I looked from the toilet paper shelf to the hot dog counter, grabbed the biggest fistful of napkins I could carry, and ran.
Don't use this.
My son wanted to be the next Ronaldo, but he watched his
Ronaldo? You're telling me you want to be the next Ronaldo in this platform?
first and last World Cup from a hospital bed. The first thing I ever put in his hands was a football, the day he was born. By 3, he slept with it. By 5, he wore the number 7 and hit the CO every time he scored on me, leaping into the air, arms out, shouting it so loud the whole street could hear. He told the woman at the supermarket, the man who
Go back.
arms out, shouting it so loud.
What the? What is that? Oh, what is that? with that frame.
The whole street could hear. He told the woman at the supermarket, the man who fixed our car, anyone who would listen, that he'd play in a World Cup one day. But the summer he turned 8, the headaches started, the scans came back, and a doctor told us it was cancer, that he'd never run on a pitch again, and that we didn't have long. In the ward, the football that used to live at his feet just sat at the end of the bed. He stopped asking to go outside. He'd loop old matches on my phone, mouthing the commentary he already knew by heart. When the foundation told him he could have anything in the world, I was already doing the math, ready to sell the car and fly us anywhere to get him onto a real pitch with the players he loved. He thought about it for a long time, then tugged my sleeve. I just want to watch the final, with you. I had to turn toward the window so he wouldn't see my face, because the final was 5 weeks out, and the doctors hadn't promised me 5 weeks. He got smaller after that, sleeping through whole afternoons, and by the week of the final, the nurses had stopped meeting my eyes in the hallway. I counted the days out loud to him anyway, not knowing if he'd be awake to hear the whistle. He made it. We propped him up on the pillows, his jersey on, the football tucked under his arm. His team went a goal down in the second half. He grabbed my hand. "They'll score, Dad. Watch." Late in the game they scored, and the whole stadium on the screen came apart. But he was too weak to leap up and shout it the way he had 1,000 times. He just pulled the football into his chest, the same one I gave him the day he was born, and breathed it out instead. Siu. A tear ran down the side of his face. He fell asleep that night, smiling, holding it. He never woke up. My son spent his whole life wanting to play in a World Cup, and his last night holding a football through one.
Damn, that's actually...
My teacher told me to stay back after class to discuss my behavior issues, so I immediately slapped her across the face.
Oh, damn. 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 Yo, get her. I couldn't control my left arm.
She fell to the floor, and I covered my mouth in horror. "I'm sorry, miss. I can't control it. You see, I'd had surgery as a kid. Doctors separated the right and left sides of my brain to treat my epilepsy, but it left me with a rogue left arm, meaning I physically couldn't control it, and it did things on its own without me wanting to." My teacher yelled, "To the principal's office, now," and dragged me while I screamed it was my rogue limb. The principal sighed, "I already called your mom. You can't keep being violent because of this made-up condition." But I punched him in the face before he finished his sentence. He clutched his nose, and I instantly grabbed the school trophy off his desk and hurled it at his head. He fell and screamed, "I'm calling the cops," while I cried and begged them to believe I couldn't control it. But then my left arm reached for the principal's prized paintball gun. He'd hung it behind a glass as the last thing his father left him, but I simply punched through. The glass shattered, and I grabbed the paintball gun and aimed it at him. My teacher lunged to snatch it from me, but I shoved her to the ground and started going Rambo on my principal with his own father's paintball gun. I wrestled the gun away with my right arm, but that's when my teacher tackled me. Tears ran from my face as I begged them to believe me, but they yelled, "You're going to prison." An officer walked in and saw my principal covered in paintball and bruises on his face, but I felt my left arm instantly curl into a fist. The principal screamed, "This boy is violent. He destroyed property and assaulted me." The cop went to ask me if this was true, and in response, my left arm punched him square in the jaw. He dropped, and I screamed, "No," because I knew assaulting an officer meant my was cooked. The cop got up and...
But that boy, they're awfully mad hand. Okay, if you guys don't know what's Judy, and Judy is like a prison for kids. That's what I'm telling you. Judy is a prison for kids. Yeah.
Immediately pulled out handcuffs. I started crying as he put my hands behind my back, but that's when the door opened. My mom was panting with a stack of medical papers. "Whatever's happening is not his fault. I have the proof right here." She shoved them at the officer, and I backed away from everyone so I couldn't hit them. I watched the officer's face twist as he read. Then he shook his head in disbelief. "This is insane, but this actually stops me from being able to arrest you. Whatever your left arm does is legally not your doing." He tucked his handcuffs away and walked out without another word. The principal and teacher went red, and that's when my left arm rose up and gave them the middle finger.
What the? Nah, he did.
Yo, is that Goo Goo Gaga?
My best friend Felix walked into our school dance in a full creeper costume while everyone else was dressed in suits and ties. He pointed, "See Sabrina?"
What the freak was that?
Suits and ties.
What the frick was that? What the heck is this? You see? You see the one in the yellow. What the
He pointed, "See Sabrina over there? I've been in love with her since kindergarten, and tonight I'm finally gonna ask her out." His creeper costume looked legit, and I laughed while pointing at the "No Smoke Allowed" sign. "Are you going to explode or something?" He leaned in. "Just watch. You'll see." His creeper legs floated toward the dance floor as I sat there wondering if a kid in a creeper costume could actually pull this off. Kids started to back away from the creeper costume as Felix passed, clearing a straight path right to Sabrina. Then some guy pointed and yelled, "Creeper! Oh man! He's gonna explode!" Sabrina turned to look, but then our principal bolted across the room and grabbed Felix by the creeper's square head. "I will not let you destroy my dance and blow it up! My office now!" Felix's creeper legs started squirming, and he had no arms to fight back. My stomach dropped, and I couldn't let my bro go out like this. So I screamed, pointing at a random kid by the punch bowl. "Principal, he's spiking the punch with mystery liquid. Help!" The principal quickly let go and charged toward the punch table, snatching the kid by the collar so fast he dropped his cup and burst into tears. "It wasn't me!" Kids came sprinting from every corner to see the meltdown, and that bought Felix his window, and he slipped through the chaos towards Sabrina. He let out a loud creeper hiss. She spun around, and his whole costume exploded in a cloud of smoke as the entire dance screamed and ducked. When the smoke cleared, Felix stood there in a sharp suit and tie with a rose between his teeth, and Sabrina's jaw dropped. "They say creepers destroy everything, but I just wanted to blow you away. Will you go out with me?" She opened her mouth to answer, but just then, the smoke hit the ceiling, and the sprinklers burst on, soaking the entire dance as everyone shrieked. The principal grabbed Felix by the collar. "I knew you'd destroy my dance. You're suspended." But as he dragged Felix off dripping wet, Sabrina screamed across the flooded gym, "I've loved Minecraft since kindergarten." "Yes," Felix grinned. "Best explosion of my life."
What the heck?
A random service dog ran across the park and pressed his paw into my leg. I immediately shot up because a service dog that was alone meant its owner was in trouble. "Let's go, boy." He tore back across the grass and stopped at a woman in a wheelchair with a man standing behind her. She looked completely